Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on ELO Part 2, which of course was the band which had some new guys and also some of the members of the original Electric Light Orchestra, who carried on Jeff's legacy with such professionalism and respect of his beautiful songs, as well as producing some of their own songs. And as I said last time, I truly believe they are part of the ELO story. So that's why they got their own little video. So, but if we go back to Jeff Lynne now, Balance of Power was released in 1986, and in a sense, what Jeff was saying at this point was that ELO had finished. He'd had enough, he needed to go off and do some other things. And certainly over the next few years, he was very much sought after as a producer. Now, I could have very easily diverted this series into his production credits, but I thought, no, let's just stick with the ELO story and I might get back to those credits later. But as he was the producer of the ELO albums, he was well and truly getting noticed by the world. And so, on both sides of the Atlantic, the US and England. And so if you think about names such as George Harrison, of course, is rock royalty, as one of the members of the Beatles. Of course, he's in England. Then we've got Tom Petty. Of course, he's another music legend. Albums being produced for him. Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman. Not that Jeff produced that song, but that's one of the songs that Roy is famous for. Paul McCartney gets in there. And then there was this little group called the Traveling Wilburys. Now, I won't go too much into the Traveling Wilburys now, just to say that Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison, Tom Petty, Bob Dylan and George Harrison got together and over the course of 3 years produced a couple of albums. And so songs like Handle with Care and End of the Line are absolutely awesome songs from this bunch of music legends. It's quite nice for me, I think, to see that people who have been around the industry for as long as these guys have got to have a really good go at a new project. So that's fantastic. So yes, he was being sought after as a producer and he was becoming quite well known for that. He also penned some songs for some people as well, and so he was very much establishing himself in his own right. And as far as the world was concerned, and I suppose for me as a fan, ELO had kind of come to an end. Or had it? This is the classic case with these sort of bands. You just wonder, if there ever is an end. Because ELO did present Jeff with an incredible vehicle to create music. And suppose I'm just thinking, as he was creating music for others, he was also wondering about his own music. I know that he did release an album in 1991 called Armchair Theatre. Didn't go so well, but there's some really good songs on that. That was just him in his own right. But the ELO story was not over. In fact, as an ELO fan, I've got a confession here. This slipped completely under my radar. I suppose for me, I had celebrated Jeff's music, certainly up to the Balance of Power album, and I thought that was it. But in 2001, this album was released, Zoom. As you can see, the spaceship is back. It wasn't there during Secret Messages or Balance of Power, but it's back here. It's quite funny, I did not realise this album had been released. Because back when I bought the ELO albums, I bought cassettes. That's what you bought back then. But then I thought, well, now that CD's a bit of a thing, I better go and buy the CDs. And when I bought the Secret Messages album, I saw advertised in the inset there this album called Zoom. And then to my surprise, I also saw that there was a DVD as well. Could it be that I finally got to see ELO live with Jeff up the front? And so I very quickly ordered both of these items, the DVD and the CD. And the Zoom DVD is one of my most treasured DVDs I've got, because I get to see ELO live. And some of these beautiful songs, Tightrope and Can't Get It Out of My Head and rockers like Don't Bring Me Down, all the songs you'd hope to be there are there. And then also some tracks off this new album, Zoom. Now, I have played a couple of clips from this particular 2001 concert previously, but obviously with this album today, there will be a couple more clips from this particular concert. Because in 2001, Jeff got a few people together, not that many. He got a few people together, including Richard Tandy, of course, who has been keyboard player for ELO for as long as I can remember, to do a live concert. These guys are really, really tight, and their harmonies are superb. Just about all of them are singing, the drummer's even singing, so to be able to drum and sing at the same time is pretty amazing. And Jeff, in his just typical style, just sings the songs because his music speaks louder than anything else. So, Zoom for me is a really, really good album. There are some absolutely brilliant songs on this album. I love this album. I love the songwriting on it. When you look at the credits, Jeff's pretty well playing everything, every instrument. I know that George Harrison and Ringo Starr actually feature a little bit on this album, which is quite a good thing to be able to say. But he did the whole album himself. But there's a couple of songs I wanted to talk about today off this album. One of these songs is Moment in Paradise. As Jeff says on the DVD, this has got quite a big range, and you see just how amazing his voice is even so many years after the start. He can still sing really, really well. He's incredible. He's got incredible vocals. I think we underestimate just how good a singer he is. He's a really good singer. And so we get to see all him in his singing glory in this song. It's such a beautiful, I suppose, moment in time when you're with someone and you're absolutely really loving being with them. Moment in Paradise. What a beautiful thing to be able to sing to somebody else. There's that song, All Right's very good as well. But the song I really wanted to focus on today is this song, State of Mind. Again, brilliant harmonies. Jeff always puts just surprises in his songs, and this one's full of surprises. When I consider State of Mind, though, think about state of mind. What is the thing that guides us most in this world? What is this thing within us that guides us most in this world? Some would say it's our hearts, it's our goals, it's our dreams, it's our visions. They well up within us somehow. But what is it that gives those dreams and visions form? It's our minds. Our minds are informed by so many things. They are informed by the world around us. They are informed by the people we see, the circumstances we observe. They are informed by our relationships. Our minds are informed by so many things. And I know for myself, often I can be quite down on myself. I could be thinking, oh, I'm not that good. I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy of that. So easy to get into that way of thinking. Whereas the other way could be to say, well, I am a person of worth and a person of value. And I am a person worthy of dreams, as I shared a little while back. I suppose we all go through situations where we have these two voices, and sometimes the negative will be stronger than the positive, and sometimes the positive will be stronger than the negative. I think what the state of our mind means is that which one will generally win over the other. I suppose if life has been hard and hasn't gone so well, you may always tend to focus on the negative. That's just natural human nature, and without people alongside you to encourage you and support you, that could be the way it ends up. And and we may even read stories, and I've mentioned this person before, J.K. Rowling, and how she was rejected by all these publishers. But she ended up finding one. Now, many of us, including myself, I think, we may give up after the first or second try and think, oh, I'm not going to worry about it. But there was something about J.K. Rowling's state of mind that kept her pushing and kept her moving on. It's an incredible ability to overcome disappointment and to hold on to that dream, which I suppose is this thing that resonates up within us. So I suppose the encouragement for all of us is to think about our state of mind. It's a bit of a strange thing. Perhaps to write down the things, the assumptions of life that we've made, even our view of ourselves. Write down the cons, the things we don't like about ourselves, and write down the things that we do like about ourselves. Look at the stuff which we do like, because that stuff is the reality. Then look at the negative side and think, well, is that really the case? It might not be. Really, really powerful to see the words on a bit of paper as you contemplate the way that we think. I suppose my own example, I've talked about this before, I used to write these posts, then I decided to do video. Now, my state of mind could have said, look, I'm not good enough to do video, really. I stumble over my words a bit. I'm not this exciting, compelling person. But I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. I've got something to offer. Hopefully there's warmth and there's connection for people as who may watch. Even if one person watches these videos, I've achieved what I want to do. So state of mind is everything, pretty much. It informs everything that we do. It informs what we think about ourselves and what we think about the world. So I suppose the encouragement thing for all of us is, well, let's frame our state of mind as something that's positive. But not just some fantasy world, but in something that's realistic. Looking for the stuff in our lives that is actually positive and uplifting, and something that encourages us to keep going. We all have those things, and ultimately the decision to keep going is not something that anyone else can do for us. It's something that we have to decide for ourselves. That's where our state of mind is so important. Well, I hope this little comment today will be an encouragement for you. Let's get on to the clips. Now, both of these clips and the links are in the description below. Both of these links are from this 2001 concert. The plan was for this to be a bit of a tour, but unfortunately ticket sales weren't the best at this point. I think ELO had kind of been forgotten a little bit. Perhaps the generation that listened to them had kind of moved on a little bit as well. So we only really got a couple of concerts in this tour, and so both these clips are from that concert. We do have a spaceship of sorts here, and this band is Jeff is really, really tight, incredibly tight. And so we have, and again, they're live. Moment in Paradise, and Jeff talks about it at the beginning. Oh, it's this one, because he's talking about the incredible range his voice needs to be to capture this song, and he captures it so well. And the other one is State of Mind. Bit of a rockier number, and how good are the harmonies in this song? They are absolutely superb. So the links to both of those songs are below, and I've also included my link to the commentary on ELO Part 2 that I did last time. So if you want to recap on that, feel free to have a look at that one as well. And I always say this at the end of my videos because I don't want to push people. I do reflect on life through music. We are going through a bit of an ELO series at the moment, and I think I've got about maybe 3 videos to go, and then the ELO story will kind of come to an end. It's a continuing story though, because they're still performing live today, which is fantastic. I reflect on life through music, so if you do like this video, please give it the thumbs up, and also subscribe and click on the little bell and select all. I post about 2 to 3 times a week. So I trust you've enjoyed this video today. The ELO story will continue next time, and we jump from 2001 to 2015. So until next time, bye for now.